These are bullets all day long. They got the Knight of Pentacles, the stress. He shot himself. There's the
family attorney says the 23-year-old died from a gunshot wound to the head, and the manner of death was suicide.
I don't know what he used. I know it's a rope involved. I don't know what he used that rope for. Let me see. The secrets. He's taking the secrets with him. You see the secrets? He's not giving y'all the information. Says y'all don't need to know it. You know? He'll go out with the secrets with the high priest there. He might be found on a Wednesday too. Ace of Wands. So I have no doubt in my mind they're gonna find Brian Laundrie, October 2021. I'm telling you, he's still.
Hello, my loves. It's TTMG, the Tarot Medium Goddess here. Thank you so much for being here. Please do stop what you're doing and like this video. Go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to tell me what you think about what happened in this case in the comments below. And do show your girl some love and share the video. I appreciate every single one of you. It's true. I love you, boo. I love you, boo. Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Tarot Medium Goddess Show. So, today,
if it's a trick and they arrest Tyler,
we'll be discussing the BRANDI NEAL case. Well, actually, the Michael Vaughn case, aka Monkey, who has, has disappeared sometime last year, and it's been less than a year now. And his mother, BRANDI NEAL, is under some heat with some people that she was very connected with, speaking to almost every day. And the more this case goes on, it's the more red flags that they are seeing. And yes, we did see her on the Chris McDonough on the interview room, and he felt that she was more into it, and I felt that, and a lot of you guys felt that, than Candace Bly, who we see is kind of detached from the situation, right? But I just want you guys to know, always stay vigilant and just watch these things to the end, because there could be some red flags that come up. There are some master manipulators out there, not saying she's one, just saying that some red flags have come up in this case. So now let me play you guys a clip from yesterday real quick, and then we'll go ahead and we'll hear the conversation with those people that she was connected with in a second.
If it's a trick and they arrest Tyler, I'm going to be fucking pissed.
There's no way in fucking hell I'll burn the place down. Are you fucking kidding me? There's no way in hell. There is no way in hell Tyler had anything to do with this whatsoever.
I don't think Tyler did either. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to be fucking pissed.
No. And I told Tyler, I told him what I told Sai, that he's the sissy Lola, and I'm the badass. And he laughed. And he's like, I do feel guilty. It's my fault. It's not his fault.
Right.
It is not his fault. He did not do this.
Is he gonna actions maybe of things that they're finding out right now, and they just need to have it on record?
No, it's just gonna be him and Sai talking. No polygraph, no nothing. Just him and Sai in the office, like I do all the fucking time. That's it.
Oh, so not recorded and stuff like that.
No, it's just them two having a conversation.
Okay.
That's it. He promised me.
You'll go to federal. That's federal prison. You can't go burning down police officers' fucking homes.
I'll just go talk to his wife. She's been a corrections officer for over 25 years. I'll just go talk to her.
So you're
I've met her.
You're gonna paddle on side to his wife if he arrests Tyler.
You bet your ass I will.
Hold on, honey, I'm coming. Let me go tell Sai's wife.
Oh, you're gonna be in trouble.
I'm sorry, that's funny.
go to JD's wife, too.
What does JD have to do with him getting arrested?
Just in case.
Oh my
I got a
God.
backup plan.
So when asked why she thought this was funny, she beat around the bush. I don't know if some of you guys may have seen my video from yesterday where someone asked her that actual question. Why did you think that was so funny? What was so funny about you burning down a precinct or a law enforcement house? She started speaking about her dad with PTSD that had absolutely nothing to do with the question. The question was rephrased 2 more times, so a total of 3 times. And she started talking about her dad with PTSD again, which once again has absolutely nothing to do with the question. So that person just said, you know what? It's fine. It's okay. Don't even worry about it. So anyway, people are starting to find her as being shady, and some red flags are going up. So you guys, I just want you to take the time and to concentrate on this, the overall case. There's a lot of stuff that you've seen with her begging for her son back, asking for help, and you see her tears, but there's a lot of things that you haven't seen. For instance, she was told time and time again, or advised time and time again by people who are close to her, look, the Fruitland police are not doing anything in this situation with this case. It's been months now. He's still missing. We don't want this to go like the Kyron Harmon case went. So we need to get the FBI involved. We need to do X, Y, or Z. Oh, no, 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 no. We don't have to do that. She's not worried about it. There's so much things that is not in the light for you to see. So some of them will be discussed in this little audio that I'm about to play. Let me check the comments. What are these people laughing about? Oh, hey, Grams. So what they're laughing about is, it was Brandy discussing, I believe it was with Crystal. She was stating that her husband, Tyler, was going to get his Miranda rights read to them. Now, anytime someone gets the Miranda rights read to them, it's usually for something serious. They may, suspect them of a crime, or they may, be putting them in, shackling them up, putting them behind bars. But they told them this ahead of time. Now, people think that it's suspect that Fruitland police would tell them. Why would you tell them ahead of time? Why would you give them a heads up in this case? And there's also a big connection of them with the Fruitland Police Department, where a lot of what's going on in the investigation isn't even being recorded, right? So it's like, how close is Fruitland Police with this family, where they're not even recording some of the conversations now? They should all be recorded, right? And the further we get into this case and all the months that are passing by, we're no closer to finding Michael Vaughn. Monkey, right? So she has been advised, go, let's get the FBI into this. Let's do this or that. And she's not doing it, So there's a lot of things that people are seeing where she's showing that, she wants to find her son, but there's a lot of areas where we see that she's not. And those things were behind closed doors until today. I'm exposing more of it. I exposed some yesterday, and I'm going to expose some later, and I'm going to expose some right here on this live. But anyway, so what she had said during this conversation, in this phone conversation, Grams, and if you want to go on the live stream with me, the link is below. But what she did, she was laughing because she said that she hopes they're not tricking her, that when her husband Tyler comes in and sits down with them on another interview, well, it's not officially an interview because it wasn't being recorded, but they better not lock him up, because if they do, she's going to go ahead and burn their houses down. So yeah, that's what she said. Whether someone feels it's a joke or not, it's terroristic threats on it. You could be held, um, like the stuff that could happen to you legally in a court of law for threatening, a law enforcement like that. It's just, I mean, she doesn't want to play with that. She does not want to open those can of worms. Mallory says, hey, Mallory, love, how are you? So I'm going to go ahead. I hope it's beautiful out there in Canada. Grams of 7 says, I haven't meditated on Michael, but I'm about to because something seems off with this conversation. Very. And so these are people that she was once connected with. And I haven't either, because in this case, she looked more like connected to the situation. And I was concentrating on something where, I'm already feeling the corruptness come through on the Summer Wells case, right? But I mean, that's just easy to see. But that's why this is how come you're not supposed to let people, not to say that she's guilty of anything, but just pay close attention to the end. Anyway, I'm going to start the conversation.
When PD, there's obviously corruption there because my police department wouldn't come to me and say, hey, in a couple of days, we're going to review your rights, okay? If I did something wrong. And for her to go down there every single day and have a conversation, and if that's not recorded, that's not okay. And I pray to God for Michael that the card team is on the other side of this, because if not, this is terrible. This is the worst sick feeling I've ever had, because every time I come into spaces and I think I can't learn anything else, I learn so much more. And it's so bad for him, and I get so upset. The other day I had to get off stage and be threatened. We're not going to be pushed aside anymore. We're going to push forward as a team, and we're not going to stop until we get answers or until we bring Michael home. So that I know about. And the other side,
I'm going to pause it to say this real quick. There's also times where people want to give the police department a heads up on a tip or something like that, and she tells them, no, don't bother them. Don't bring that information to them. So it's drawing a lot of red flags for the people that she was once close to.
that is BRANDI. Her problem is she doesn't want us to mess with the good thing she's got going with the Fruitland PD. Because that's why she says, don't say this, don't tell them that, don't do this. Because she feels like she's got this great thing going. So if we come and start asking questions, and we start coming and saying things, now the FBI is going to start questioning things. Now the card team might start saying things. Now guess what? Her little deal with the Fruitland PD is gone. She can't come in every day and have a little cup of coffee and a sit down and maybe talk to Cy or whoever else. That's over. That's all I wanted to say.
Someone else go. Real quick, Jen, are you like with law enforcement or a lawyer, or how, like, what is your background, I guess, to have like all this knowledge? Because I greatly appreciate it.
Who are you asking?
She's asking Jen.
That's what I thought.
She had just.
I don't know if her thing will come in because it was kind of wonky.
I was connecting, so I did not hear that. Sorry. What was your question? I was asking, like, what is your background? Are you in law enforcement, like an attorney, or how are you so knowledgeable about, like, the process and everything? Because I greatly appreciate it and your insight. I just Google everything. No, I'm kidding. I'm prior law enforcement. Perfect. Thank you.
That's that cop humor.
It is.
She gave herself away.
It is. And just to throw this out there, too, I've discussed this with a few other people, too. I mean, just a little bit of common sense. It doesn't make any sense that an agency would give a, quote, heads up of 48 hours to calm someone down, because, one, it doesn't calm people down when you read their Miranda rights. And, two, it gives them time to set up an alibi and coordinate stories.
So I had to press pause for a second. So she's saying that when BRANDI stated that on that phone call that they gave them a 48 hours notice, heads up, hey, when you guys come to the precinct, we're going to go ahead and read Tyler, your husband, his Miranda rights. So she's saying something's up like that. Like it gives somebody time to kind of form an alibi. That doesn't even seem right. It seems almost corrupt for her. Like it's somebody that they're connected to within the Fruitland Police Department that she's saying is looking out for them.
And it just,
Hello, Pink Butterfly. How are you today?
it makes absolutely zero sense if you think about it just from even a civilian perspective.
This is Lisa, and I'm going to chime in here real quick that I really think that putting pressure on Fruitland PD with some negative attention, I think is past due, honestly. I think that it tagging them and tagging the FBI, I don't know if we want to specifically call this particular thing out, but they've gotten away with too much for too long, with no negative attention going their way. I don't know who all we need to tag, but that's just my personal opinion that I think, pressure bursts pipes, and it's just going to kind of keep going at this slow pace. And I think we have the opportunity to escalate it a little bit with some tagging of what's going on.
I would personally gear those tags more towards the FBI than Fruitland PD, because obviously they're jaded and don't give a rat's ass. So
I would say this is probably gonna, at least this piece and the piece from the other one where Jen started talking to kind of confirm and explain the Miranda rights things and such. I would be willing to say that this is going to go pretty far, as far as awareness. And I'm glad, because it's like trying to pull teeth to get people to understand what's real and what's not at this stage of the game. And the fact that there are family members who are comfortable with how this investigation has gone, and there's literally no traces, no signs, no suspects.
I gotta press pause. Sorry, gotta interrupt real quick. So what she's bringing up is very relevant. She's saying because the fact that there are family members, i.e., Brandi and Tyler, right? She didn't say their names, but that's who she's referring to, are very comfortable and happy with how this investigation is going along. Yet there are, they aren't any closer to finding Michael Vaughn. They shouldn't be happy. They should want to progress. They should want to push it up higher. They should want it to go up to the FBI, or the FBI and the investigation in that area, Bureau of Investigation of that area. And for her to sit well with that and be comfortable with it and say, oh, it's okay, and not push more for them to, bring it up to a higher level, a higher degree of investigation, something's going on wrong. And that's a lot of what we don't see, right? We just see the stuff that she does positive, but we haven't seen the behind the scene things. And this is what we're hearing about now during this conversation.
No leads, no timeline, no nothing. Is just, it baffles me. So I look forward to this getting, I mean, I don't know what it takes for FBI to finally come in and say, you know what, I think we're going to take over fully. But it's concerning for Michael, and it's very sad. Tired, go ahead.
Hi guys. Also for Jen, while we have you, I'm sorry, I've been sick for weeks, so if you hear heavy breathing, there's nothing exciting going on. So Brandi had told, I know the answer to this, but I know she is manipulating so many people. Tyler had taken 2 polygraphs, and he clearly failed the first one, which is why they asked him back in. And she was saying that it was because he was asked a general question, like, did you drop Monkey off? Which I know that would never happen. I would assume they would make sure the question is very clear to have a yes or no answer, and there's assuming that another reason why he failed that test. Can you confirm or say anything on that?
Yeah, polygraphs are usually given very short. They don't ask many questions, and they make it very clear that, you know, these are regarding the events of such and such date. So for them, I mean, I think that's just them trying to shun that off myself, but they're very clear. They're very direct questions. They're not, did you have coffee in your life? I mean, they don't ask just willy-nilly general questions like that. They make it very event specific.
The other thing she said was after the second one, they did not get results, but he was told, you'll never have to do this again. And I don't see them making that kind of statement to anybody. So if you could just, again, clarify that.
Yeah, that kind of speaks for itself. I mean, I'd be willing to bet he failed it the second time, so there's no reason to do it a third time.
Thank you.
Jen is so badass. Like, I want her to have like the very last thing to say, like when we close the space out, because I mean, it's got to be incredibly frustrating. I know it has for me. You know, trying to explain things with common sense and being told that we don't know anything, and to hear it straight from law enforcement's mouth, to kind of cut away all the I guess bias, if that's what you want to call it. No one can really say that it came from my mouth or Dope's mouth or Crystal's mouth. So let's do Ashley and then Sam.
Sam, you can go before me because you had your hand up first.
I can't see anything with this Walmart internet.
I just, you know, it's crazy as we're talking about that whole conversation that Brandi had in stating that he was given advanced warning, which again, I agree. Like I've never seen law enforcement do that. So if they did, that's very, very surprising and very concerning. But the other thing that really obviously stood out to me, and I think it did for everybody as far as like I'm concerned and that I've seen, is that it's very disturbing that Brandi feels comfortable enough to make such a threat that not only would she burn the police department down if they arrested Tyler, but that she would go to the wives of two of the police officers, one of which I am assuming is the chief, to have a word with them as if they were to have some involvement or a hand in being able to get Tyler out had he been arrested. So to me, either that's a covert narcissist who is speaking with arrogance because that she thinks she's untouchable, or it speaks volumes on the relationship and what potentially she thinks that she has that has any pull as to whether or not Tyler could be pulled out. I don't know. The whole conversation in that tiny clip is very disturbing to me.
Or both of those scenarios, you're probably correct.
Yeah, and to clarify, she was talking about the captain, Cy Armstrong, and Chief J.D. Huff, their wives.
I'm going to press pause. A lot of you guys' comments, I'm just displaying it instead of stopping every second and reading it. So I'll display it through the screen. So Pinky Butterfly says it, but I want to touch on Pinky Butterflies real quick because I want to bring something up. It says it makes no sense how they think Candace's children and Trezel's children, or how they take Candace's children and Trezel's children, but they don't take Brandi's. It is a child neglect case because no one was watching Michael. Right. There's also, I'm trying to see let me see. I think in those cases with Trezel and Jacqueline and Candace and Don, it just everybody, not everybody, because a lot of people are still rooting for them, but a great amount of people saw where they probably had their hands in it. You know, Brandi, in this case, people may think that it was just a simple mistake, But the part that's getting me now is that I have so much information and I'm trying to start to share it with you guys, but there's a lot of stuff that we're not seeing, behind the scenes with Brandy, which is kind of showing that she knows more about this than whether it was a mistake or it wasn't a mistake, whether it was an accident or whether it wasn't an accident. She's holding her cards back from us. She's not showing us her hand. There's a reason she's not interested in having the FBI involved. Any mother, parent that really cares, that wants to find their child, they want it to extend to the highest degree possible in the search for their child. But she's not pushing it one bit. And if she does push it, it's because of all of this that has been exposed by those people that have been speaking to her daily, that has the closest connection with her. And people like me who are starting to air this or who will be airing this through social media. Now that the eyes on her and she's in the spotlight for this, then she may make a decision and say, okay, well, yeah, sure, we can have the FBI so it doesn't look, bad on her part. But this is something that should have been done well before anybody said anything, and yeah, so it's little things like that that show that there's more to this than we could even imagine. Dixie, I was looking for you. Hi, Dixie. So thanks for bringing that up, Pink. Graham says sounds really wrong. Yes, it does sound wrong. Yeah, that the Fruitland police, who gives, I never heard of that either, where someone's given a 48-hour notice before they come in and they tell them, hey, when you come in, we're going to go ahead and read the Miranda rights, but don't worry about it. What? So anyway, Laura says, Brandy has a strange way of talking. She seems like an angry person, but possibly dangerously angry. It's a thin line there. Yep, Laura, I agree. With this case, guys, and once again, I go from listening to things that the people have spoke to her on a daily basis are now saying that's a red flag for Brandy, and they did not want to talk about it. It hurts them to talk about it. It hurts them to leak this information, but they don't want this to go like another Kyron Harmon case. They want Michael to get justice. So at this point, they're feeling it necessary to come out. So I'm just saying but okay, so from listening to them and say, okay, but then I go back to listening to Brandy and there's things that, once again, that she's doing in this case that kind of makes me feel, okay, she does care. Look there's the real emotion that looks like real emotions to me. And look how she's hugging her son. She looks like she's in heaven. Like she could never do anything to kind of, hurt her son. And of course, I'm looking at it as a mother. I'm not looking at it intuitively yet. I have not tried to tap into this energy intuitively or psychically or whatever, So on the surface, it appears like she's doing the right thing. But like I said, there's people that have gone on search for their missing family members, loved ones, friends, or, strangers who they know they committed a crime against. And they were part of that search team. It happens time and time again. They'll go out in those fields. But like I said, if they know the bodies to the south, they're going to lead you to the north. If they know the bodies to the east, they're going to lead you to the west. So all I'm saying, I'm not saying she did something wrong at this point. I'm just saying it's time for us to pay attention to the red flags and not be manipulated when people pour on their emotions on us. Okay, I got to say hello because my kid's in another room. I have an ex-husband. He is good with that, okay? And he can convince anybody of anything. All right? There are people like that in this world and who are so narcissistic, you know what I mean? So just be careful of who you trust. And let's just see this thing let's see this thing out. All right, I'm gonna high left. I just sent Grants home. Okay, I'm glad you had a great visit with them, Dixie. I'm so glad. So as you guys pour out your comments, I'll go ahead and highlight them throughout the screen. But I know there's a lot of people who don't like when I interrupt my audio. So I'm going to try to play this one out. We probably have another 10 minutes left or so. And then I have another shocker to come thereafter. But I'll highlight your comments. My kids are fighting in the next room. I might have to mute this for a second to yell at them. Oh my God. Oh, and last thing, there's pauses because they're trying to take turns speaking back and forth. So you may hear awkward silence here and there in their conversation.
Ashley, your turn.
I don't even remember what I was going to talk about, so it's all good.
I think this has been really informative and clarifying, and I look forward to transcribing all this. And yes, Ashley, you remembered.
I did remember. I was just going to say, when everybody is retweeting and sharing stuff, posting on Facebook, any YouTubes, like if you're able to tag different like news stations in there, I would try to do local news stations, national news stations, magazine articles, anything, the FBI, like try to tag them in these different posts like constantly to get their attention and to bring the awareness to the forefront, because like a lot of you guys have said, and we all I think are on the same page, that it's been far too long that there's been some shady stuff going on, and it needs to be brought to the public's eye. I'm so tired.
You heard her just say there's been some shady stuff going on, and these are people who, like I said, were very close to her. Well, one person in particular is Crystal. So a lot of them are getting their information from her as well. So anyway, and Crystal has recordings of the conversations with Brandy, you know, so all of this stuff could be proven.
Of seeing news articles about Michael with repeating the same freaking information. There's no update and there's no insight into this other side of everything. Nobody wants to talk about this other side, and it's incredibly frustrating because it's so big and it speaks volumes as to what's going on.
I agree, and we can work on, if anybody would be interested, we can work on coming up with a list of who and what would be most effective, go the furthest in terms of like tags, ats on Twitter for postings. That way we can all kind of be pretty cohesive and be sending the same things to the same people all the time. I know somebody in Tennessee for the TBI was eventually tired of hearing from me because we had that's okay. We had a phone call scheduled that ended up not even happening because I guess, you know, this whole community has been very effective in that sense, applying pressure where it belongs. And I think we've seen that here in the lab for Michael. Go ahead, Diesel.
Has this family had Child Protective Services involved at all?
Not that anybody knows of it. That's not something that we can confirm because they're minors.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Mary, go ahead, Mary.
Hey, I raised my, first of all, you guys, I'm sick as shit and I'm dying right now. So I apologize for my voice. I raised my hand originally because somebody said something, but then Jen, straightened it up and already said what I wanted to say. I will admit that I don't really know anything about this case because I've avoided it for personal reasons, and I don't usually talk about shit that I don't know about shit. But I'm just going to say it's really fucking strange to me for any mom, like if your kid is missing, for any mom to like even remotely in their brain, even if you're thinking it in your head, being pissed off at first responders or cops or firemen's wives or like whatever. Like most victims of crime don't like verbally go after cops and first responders like in the public like that. I can't get my mind around, like, think about like Kelsey German. Like, those girls it's been 5 years that case is still cold. Like, I understand if somebody in your family disappears, still missing, a crime is not solved after 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you get really freaking pissed about it and you start maybe being like, all right, these cops don't know what the frig they're doing, whatever. But am I understanding that Brandy like is talking about like going after like spouses of first responders within the first year of her kid being missing, like verbally saying that out loud, like being willing to piss off the people that are looking for her kid? She did that?
She said that she would if Tyler were arrested.
If it were a trick, if she was being told that he was just being read his rights to ease his whatever and calm him down, and if that was a trick and he was going to go in there and be arrested, then she was going to be pissed and do all that, burn stuff down.
Okay, yeah, no, I will never understand that. Whatever. Bye. I can't even.
Can I talk, Nicole?
Yes, of course, Moxie.
I just wanted to say, like, that feeling that we all get when we hear these inconsistencies, like, imagine what Crystal and Ashley and Sam have been feeling, because they know these people, they know the kids involved. And so for me, I just really wanted to say, especially if anybody is in here who doesn't quite know what's going on, or anybody who may has a negative opinion about, some of the phone calls being posted or anything, that it is incredibly evident to me that these women are not acting out of vindictiveness or nastiness. They have heard things said in private that do not match what has been said publicly. And these are big things. The fact that, there was absolutely no other way out of the neighborhood when there was. The fact that there's a car talked about that's been, verified as not being involved, and that's not getting out. There's, sex offenders that, somebody is friends with a sex offender. Like, there's a lot of things that are lighting up these internal warning bells for these women. They're not feeling right, and they came forward to say something, and they're putting themselves at risk doing this. They've been threatened, literally. They're putting personal relationships at risk. They're seeing something that's not right, and they're saying something, and that is so courageous. And just listen to the way that they speak. They are not trying to throw anybody under the bus. They are trying to find Michael. For me, I just wanted to acknowledge that, because I realize the position that you've put yourselves in and the discomfort that we all feel. I can't even imagine what you guys feel. And I just wanted to say thank you.
All right. So that's it for now, guys. And I think it's a very hard place to put yourself into, because I'm sure that was almost their last resort. But it was just red flag after red flag after red flag for them to be able to speak out on something like this. And I mean, it's all for a reason. So like I said, everyone stay vigilant. I'll be back again with 2 shorter lives regarding Tyler being read his Miranda rights, and also him failing a lie detector test. So yeah, it's a lot more to this. This case is deeper than we thought. So thank you for being here, Dixie, Pink Butterfly, all you guys, Scorpio, Terry, Grams, Mallory, and everyone else in the background. Love you guys and appreciate you all. See you soon.